Welcome to the Rabbit Hole Fantasy Football Podcast. Thoughts, analysis, and information to help you succeed in your fantasy football leagues. I am your host, Chad Lyon, and joining me is Tyler Bevel.
Great.
And our producer, Mitchell Bird.
Hello.
This is our Week 11, 4 o'clock Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football game slate preview. How's Ty Guy doing?
Doing good.
Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah.
It's like several times in a week.
Right. Only one other time.
Well...
We tried Wednesday. It didn't work out.
Yeah, we had to skip the Thursday Night Football and 1 o'clock games. We had technical difficulties, and it was getting late, and we were like, you know what? This episode does not exist this week. Yeah. Our bad. It happens. It happens. We're new.
We don't know what to do.
Sorry. Hey, so before we get into Thursday Night Football, we have a good top three.
All right.
Ready?
Yeah.
Top three sports movies.
Ooh. I'll butcher this.
Dude, I almost said, let's just do top five. And then I'm like, no, we don't have time for all that. Like, just top three and just have to know. It's really like top 15. Like, I could just keep going.
I'm going to do one that probably doesn't deserve to be on this list, but I like it, so I don't care. It's my list. The Replacements.
Hey. Sure. Why doesn't it belong?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, if you actually start thinking about, like, because it's tough. Like, once you start thinking about
you mean
all the other sports movies that are good,
here?
Like
I had a hard time with them. I left so many off.
Any Given Sunday, number 2.
Sure.
And number 1 is The Sandlot. I just think it's...
I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah.
I love it, man. You're killing me, Smalls. Huge fan. How can I have some more if I've never had any to begin with?
No, s'more.
No, s'more. Best character.
I just love everything about that movie. Like, there's not a bad part in that movie.
Yeah. I loved Ham. He's the man. He's awesome. How about you, Mitchell?
I like that Ty goes from 3 to 1, but I am going to start out with my number 1 as Waterboy.
What?
Gatorade!
Yeah. I'm a football player.
Sticking on the train, Happy Gilmore.
Oh, number 2.
Yeah. Once I started thinking about sports,
golf movies.
Happy Gilmore is my favorite Adam Sandler movie. To this day, like, that's my favorite one.
Because it's a fantasy football podcast, I went with Waterboy. But I would say out of the two, I probably would pick, but I love
Happy Gilmore.
I'll watch them both.
Yeah, for sure.
Billy Madison's still my favorite.
Really?
Yeah. I love Happy Gilmore.
I'd take Waterboy over Billy Madison.
Billy Madison won.
But Happy Gilmore over Waterboy.
I do love Billy Madison, but there's not enough sports in that one. I'm going to go with The Replacements.
Nice.
Number 3.
Right on. That's a great movie, man. I love that movie.
Gotta have heart.
Awesome.
Miles and miles of heart.
Miles of heart. In comes Keanu.
Yeah.
Right through the water sprinkler.
Yeah.
It's in slow motion.
Yeah.
I'll go 3 to 1. I will start with 3, and it is We Are Marshall.
Nice.
Big fan of that movie.
Matthew McConaughey, coach in that movie. Am I thinking of the right one?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Great movie, man. Major League.
Major League. Nice.
Yeah. Come on, man.
So
Wild
tough.
Thing. Great movie. And Major League 2 is great, too.
They're both. You can say that in a series. Like, number 2 for you is just a Major League series. They were both good.
Yeah. And one, man, I'm a huge Billy Bob Thornton fan, and there is a ton of football action in this movie. I just thought it was a cool story. It's true, and I don't know. I'm a sucker for that stuff. Friday Night Lights.
Yep.
I remember the first time I watched it. When we were done, I looked at my wife. I'm like, that was a great freaking movie.
Yeah.
Like, that was a great movie, man. And I love Billy Bob Thornton's so versatile.
He's a good actor, for sure.
He went.
Not that I'm a good, I don't.
I mean, from
It's good actor.
you think about it, like from Sling Blade to Friday Night Lights,
Right.
man. Like, that's such, like, and everything in between is such a
broad
variety.
spectrum.
Ain't no gas in it.
He's versatile.
French fried taters and mustard.
That movie's so good, though.
It is. It's great, dude. It's a great movie.
You know what I'm surprised? Like, when you said this list, I thought one movie that for sure at least one of us would say, and I like the movie, it just didn't make my, Remember the Titans.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
It is. It's great. And like, Hardball. Like, there's so many good sports movies that are
Hardball.
That was an honorable mention for me.
Yeah, for sure. Like, that movie was so good.
That movie-
Keanu again.
That movie breaks me.
If that would have had a sprinkler scene with Keanu, it would have made it.
Dude, I cry every time I watch it.
That's bad.
Dude,
how you know it's
Hardball is
good.
brutal. There's
It's
a
in
lot
the
for me.
fields.
It's like Rocky. Come on.
Yeah, Rocky's good.
Raging Bull with Robert
Yeah, De Niro. That's a classic one. That's
yes. So there is a lot, man. Like,
Yeah.
and like one of them probably should, like Raging Bull should probably be on this list, or the Rocky series.
So
I
many.
loved the Rocky series growing up.
Rocky
man.
4 all day.
Rocky 4 is a great one.
Yeah.
That's a great one. All right. We should probably get moving here.
All right.
Let's start with some Thursday night talk.
Okay.
Austin Eckler,
Yeah, he does things. He catches passes out of backfields.
high upside flex, rest of season?
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's say flex with RB2 upside, rest
sure.
of season. I mean, even with Brian Robinson in
Yeah,
there.
not a problem. It hasn't been all year, even when Brian Robinson played. I mean, Austin Eckler has been nothing short of consistent.
Any concern level for Jaden Daniels?
Yeah, I just don't think he's healthy. I think he's banged up.
I think you got to keep starting him. They get like this long. It's almost like it's kind of like a bye, because they played on Thursday, so they get some extended time now.
Right.
I mean, hopefully he heals up. I think you got to keep starting him though.
Yeah.
Hard
not to.
Yeah. And look, we got to remember, like, he's a rookie.
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up, but then sometimes you got to be like, oh yeah, he's like 23 years old.
Right. Just first. Yeah.
Jalen Hurts.
He finds a way.
He does, but man, as far as real life goes, that is ugly. Come on.
Well, as far as real life goes,
Well,
yeah.
dude was concussed.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, man.
That missed throw to AJ Brown. I was like, what was that?
Right.
Even AJ Brown's like, what are we?
He had checked out. He wasn't.
That wasn't great. But Brian Robinson too, sticking on the Washington side quick. Brian Robinson was fine. Austin Eckler's fine. I think you can start them both every week.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a poor man's Montgomery Gibbs.
Yeah, not that poor. I mean, it's not that level, but I mean, they do good. They both can be very productive in the same game.
Terry McLaurin.
Nick was right. Nick was on that, man.
Yep. Locked.
Quinyon Mitchell shut him down. They even tried to move him at the end of the game to like get him over on.
It helped a little. He got a catch.
He got one catch.
He was starting to kind of get, but also like
Nick was like, see zero. I was like, he caught one. He caught one.
Yeah, but didn't it seem like they didn't even try to get it to it's like they didn't even attempt to try to get it to him.
Right.
I don't know. Better days ahead there for sure. Devonta Smith had a almost touchdown, and he went through his hands. I would have liked to have seen him catch that. And the one when he caught it up the middle, I thought, I was like, there we go. Devonta's going to break away with just not quite fast enough. So yeah,
that was your last catch.
I'll tell you what, if he hits there, I mean, your concern level with the Goddard, Brown, Smith thing is kind of null.
Yeah,
here's my question. It almost felt like watching that game. It's like maybe there is enough to go around for these guys.
Yeah, I still lean towards it. I think Goddard's going to have a good game, and then it might be a Smith week.
Right.
I don't think it's going to be.
He scores there. They both have a good week though.
For sure.
But how often?
But how that's going to be trying to be dependent on something like that. There's going to be weeks where it doesn't hit, and I think there's enough for two.
Yeah.
Most weeks. Not saying that it's not going to happen where, they each get a touchdown or something. But I think it's going to be A.J. Brown and Dallas Goedert, or A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith.
Zach Ertz.
Yeah, look good.
18 PPR points, man.
And they were. Who was the other tight end that they were using at the because I kept thinking. I kept thinking. I was like, man, like Zach Ertz could actually have more.
Yeah, yeah. Yep. And where's Sinnett? Like, where?
I don't know.
Sinnett? I don't. John Bates is like over him for. It's weird. Very odd to me.
Sounds like John Bates has been doing some dirty work, and they were trying to.
Yeah, like nothing for Sinnett.
No.
Like nothing, not even a target. So I don't know. I guess I don't know. John Bates has been around for a couple years.
Yeah.
He's probably just getting the nod right now.
It's a tough position to play too. I mean, there's obviously been some exceptions the last few years, but it's typically a position where you need a year or two to get.
But Zach Ertz, I mean, I don't have a problem starting him weekly.
Revenge game.
Great revenge game. Even got the 2-point conversion. That was a wild catch.
That was
what a great catch.
Yeah. Zach Ertz has still got it.
He does. You think he sticks around one more year?
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, see what happens with this Washington
team. And that
team,
works out perfect for Washington. Maybe Sinnett gets going, or if not, still year 3 of the rookie contract by the time Ertz is talking about leaving. Why not?
Yeah. He's still, like you said,
don't seem like he's ever he seems like a great locker room guy. You never hear problems of Ertz in the locker room or anything. Like the whole thing with Goddard, he handled that well. And then when he went to, it's not, I think, why not?
Yeah, huge fan of Zach Ertz, man.
Yeah.
I don't care that he's with the Commanders. Don't bother me one
Still
bit.
root for him, right?
Yeah, of course I do.
I got like James Conner. I'll never not root for that guy. He can
Right.
go play for the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm like, well, I hope they lose, but I hope James Conner does really good.
Oh, see, that's where I draw my line.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I draw a line on the Cowboys. But, you know.
I maybe would with the Ravens. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
maybe would with
What would you done if Palomalu ended up a Raven?
Oh, that
Yeah.
would have just.
Oh,
I probably
no.
would have like cried for a day, like just like why is this happening?
That parallel universe does not exist.
Yeah,
I'm a Steelers
right.
fan. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, no
Nope.
kidding. All right, shall we get into these 4 o'clock previews here?
Yeah.
All right, let's start with the Seahawks at the 49ers. I am fading Geno this week. Tyler?
Yeah,
I'd like to. I would just like to go elsewhere.
Yeah.
Don't need to spend a whole lot of time there.
like I'd take Tua over Geno this week if that gives you like a
He's playing the Raiders, right?
yeah.
Yeah. DK, yeah. Yeah, I think I would take Tua over him.
That's
Yeah.
just where I'm kind of at with Geno. Like
He's kind of in that
yeah,
tier of guys, and he just, I don't know. Like, lots of, let me see if I can pull him up. I want to make sure that I have this right before I start running my head. Seems like he hit a downturn. Well, before the bye, he hit 24 against the Rams. I don't know, man. His worst games a 7, a 13, and a 12. Outside of that, it's basically 18 and up.
I just don't.
I just don't really care for him against San Fran. They're 10th. It's a division game. They're always weird. Watch the weird be the Seahawks just smoke them. 400 yards and
I
2
don't think so.
touchdowns. No, probably
The
not.
weird would be a high scoring game.
Yeah, that would be
Right.
weird. But yeah, anyway, I would like to fade Geno, and I think I would start Tua over him.
Yeah.
I agree. DK set to return this week. You're starting him. Let's go back to the weekly game of JSN or Lockett this week. I will take JSN.
I'm taking JSN every week. I just
Yep.
think it's inevitable that
Yep.
it's got to be him at some point.
I just don't think Seattle can ignore what he did in DK's absence. I think he gets a pretty reasonable target share this week, even with DK back. I think it stays like that going forward. I genuinely think JSN is more capable than Lockett. It's just, and that's probably more of an age thing than, and that's not a dig on Lockett. It's just age. I think JSN's role does increase a little in like the second half of the season. I think we're going to be like, oh, like I just think he gets a bump when you
I hope
compare
so.
the
'Cause
second half.
you feel
to
like
the
we're
first
right
half.
on the fringe with this kid doing
It
something
really
big. Like,
feels that way, man. Again, he showed he was capable outside of the slot while filling in for DK. They moved him all over the place. He proved he can be a deep threat, short area, intermediate. He did everything he needed to do. And he was number 1 on the depth chart for what that's worth.
right.
So I'm buying the idea of a nice second half of the season for JSN.
Yep.
You too?
Yeah.
Awesome. Ken Walker. Tough matchup. Doesn't matter. You smash start every week anyway. And he racked up like 20 PPR points against San Fran last time.
I don't have a matchup that I wouldn't start
No.
Ken Walker.
Not ever. I expect somewhere close to 20 again.
Yeah.
In that range. Playoffs are 4 weeks away.
Yep.
I know I'm a broken record, but I'm going to say it over and over again.
Charbonnet.
I cannot stress enough to make sure Charbonnet is on your bench.
Yeah.
Come on. Please make sure that you do that. That's very important. I like Purdy this week. Generally speaking, he's been playing pretty great football.
Yeah.
I'm starting him basically every week anyway. You?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you good with Purdy this week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really like Juwan Jennings this week.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, we're getting to receivers in just a second.
Sorry.
You're all right. You're starting CMC.
Sure.
Pumped that he's back.
Yeah. Fun.
So is everyone else outside of opposing NFC West fans.
Yeah.
Right? No, he looked great, man.
Fun. Got Team Ramrod back in full force with Christian McCaffrey.
That is Tyler's team in my redraft league, right?
Yeah.
Ramrod?
Yep.
You've been Ramrod since you joined the league.
Yeah, it's got to be like. So like, there's a thing on ESPN where you can go back and look through like the history of it, and like there was only, I think Seager had the team before me. There was only like 2 years where that wasn't my team.
Okay. That league's been going for like 15, 14?
I think it was 2010.
Okay.
Pretty sure is what I saw the history.
League's been rolling for a long time.
Yeah.
Debo, he is a receiver too. Yes?
Yeah.
And I think Juwan Jennings is as well.
Yeah. Juwan Jennings, you can make the argument there's some one upside there. Just when he's been healthy, and
there is one upside. You could definitely make that argument. I wouldn't call him a one, but there is definitely one upside. Purdy trusts him.
Yeah.
Shanahan trusts him.
Yep. Stays out of the doghouse.
And at minimum, he's like a super high end flex, which is probably where you get to play him anyway.
Yeah.
This has got league winner written all over it.
Yeah.
I think Mitchell.
Yes.
League winner all over it. Keep starting him.
Please make the playoffs. Please make the playoffs.
Get in and keep starting them, man. I think you can flex Pearsall as well if you're searching for 10 PPR points.
Yeah.
For sure, right?
You do a lot worse.
Yeah. I'm not saying he definitely gets you there, but he's a good roll of the dice, in my opinion. You are very clearly starting George Kittle. Easily his most consistent fantasy season. And I love it because I'm a huge Kittle fan, and I have hated having to fade him in drafts and weekly starts over the years because of inconsistency due to the offense he's in.
Yeah.
So this is great.
Kittle's a good guy. He's an easy guy to root for.
Yes. So easy to root for, man. He has the best sound bites too, man. Yeah. So I'm pumped that I get to like...
I tripped. No, I did that.
That was all me.
Yeah.
It is worth noting Kittle's dealing with a hamstring issue, but did practice in a limited fashion Thursday and Friday, and Shanahan expects him to play. So just something to monitor, but it sounds like he's good to go.
Yeah.
Start the Niners, D?
Only if I'm in a pinch.
It's home. I'll start him.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, let's move on to the Falcons at the Broncos. Are you fading Cousins this week?
Yeah, a little bit.
I'd like to. If I can. I mean, you probably can.
Yeah.
If you can't, but I would like to fade him. You're starting London. You're starting Mooney. Both of these guys are currently inside the top 10. Mooney is 8th on the season, and London is 4th at their respective positions.
I feel like I prefer Mooney a little bit this week.
I kind of do. I kind of do. That's my next in the notes is that I like Mooney a little more than London this week. So we're on the same page there. The Denver D is no joke.
No.
So maybe temper a little for these guys, but is interest like faded for you in flexing McLeod in a pinch or no? Because he started out with a good target share, but he has not had more than 4 targets in 5 straight games.
Yeah, it's starting to fade out.
It is. It really is. It was kind of a thing at first, but now that they're getting all comfortable with each other, with Mooney and London, like
Pitts is getting more involved. I think that's taken away from McLeod.
Bijan's running the snot out of the ball. Yep. It's just he's faded.
He's the odd man out.
He is. You can run on Denver, and the Falcons will do just that as they do every week. I don't expect Bijan to slow down in the least bit.
No, a big game for Bijan.
He is RB1 rest of season for me. You could make arguments, but for me, he's RB1 the rest of the way.
Yeah, I'd have to give that some thought, but it doesn't jump out at me as like, oh, no way.
How dare you?
That's crazy.
Right. What a crazy take, right? How dare you? Denver is 18th against the tight end position. But they gave up huge games to Bowers and Kelsey. Every other tight end outing against Denver has been pretty modest.
Okay.
So how are we feeling about Pitts this week?
I don't know. That's a hard thing because Pitts doesn't play like a normal tight end. So that's hard to... I don't know how... I can't honestly sit here and say I'll know how that translates to Denver's defense, but I think there's some optimism there, right?
Yeah.
You feel like maybe he has maybe a better matchup than the guys on the outside.
Oh, for sure.
So maybe more opportunities there.
Yeah, you probably have to anyway. So yeah, I mean, I'll lean into this thing and hope Pitts essentially does what Bowers and Kelsey were able to do. And the other thing is they haven't really faced like all the teams they faced outside of those two. It's just like, do you really even have a tight end?
Right.
So I would start Pitts. He's a legitimate tight end in the NFL, and being that the only 2 legit tight ends these guys have faced have cooked them, I'll start Pitts.
Yeah.
So obviously we said we're fading Cousins. Knicks or Cousins though?
Cousins.
Give me Knicks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the matchup.
Fair enough.
It's home. and the upside of the wheels always pulls me.
Yeah,
in.
the wheel, yeah.
I can't avoid it, dude. It's less, again, to a fault. It's kind of a problem for me.
It might not be. It might be the right call.
Might be. No, Nick's has been quite trustworthy, shockingly.
I mean, like last week, he played a good game. I think, 16 or 17 fantasy points. But I mean,
against the Chiefs, I mean,
yeah,
who
right.
would have thought that? I would have faded him. I think we did fade him.
Yeah.
I'm out on the running backs. And the only player I'm interested in is Cortland Sutton.
Yeah.
Do you have any interest in Estime?
I mean, I put in waiver claims for him, but I didn't get him. So, I mean, I'd like to have him on my roster.
Is he a start this week?
Ooh,
is he a flex start?
I think they're going to give the kid a go, just from like what I've been reading and stuff. Like, it seems like he's going to maybe get crack at the RB1 spot for at least a couple weeks, see what they got. But
I don't want nothing to do with Javonte.
I don't want to start him.
I don't either.
No, Javonte had one carry last week.
Dude,
I don't know what was going on.
It just makes me want to fade the whole backfield.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm fading the backfield. The Falcons are bottom 5 in receptions and receiving touchdowns to receivers, 22nd against the position. So as far as Sutton goes, I'm very interested. He gets all the volume. He's proven that he's matchup proof. He scored 15 or more against the Jets, the Chiefs, and the Chargers, all 3 great pass defenses. He's essentially matchup proof.
Yeah.
He's and to me, he's a true receiver 2 rest of the season.
Okay.
You?
Yeah.
And what's crazy about that is you're putting him in your flex.
Yeah.
Nobody is in a position unless they put themselves in that position. But
high floor, low ceiling. Not that that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Not that that's a bad thing.
I had to run that back through my head.
Yeah.
High floor, low ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is his? Let's see real quick. I think it's probably like 19.
For his high, right?
I think 18, 19. I'm sure he's got a 20 banger in there somewhere. He does. He's got a 24 game, but yeah. Like his floor is like a 13, a 14. So that's the ceiling's like 20.
Yeah.
Call it 20. So yeah, that's a good start. Rest of season. I'm all in. I'm all in on this Sutton thing, man. The volume is just absurd.
It seems like, and it's not at a point. It seems like Devon Vele is going to maybe step up to be the other guy. Nothing that you can put in there your lineup or anything now, but I don't know.
I'm very interested in Vele in Dynasty.
Oh, for sure.
Very interested in Vele.
I don't know if you're picking him up in redraft because I just don't know if it's there yet. Like if Bo Nix can consistently produce more than one guy.
Sure.
But
do you want to start the Broncos defense here?
Yeah, I'm not opposed to it.
I'm not either.
I think there's other better plays out there, even.
Depending on what league you're in, like my home league, they had 7 fantasy points against the Chiefs. I mean,
right.
I think they're pretty solid defense. Well, I not think they are. If it's factual, they're quite solid. But yeah, I have no problem starting the Broncos this week. All right, that's it for that game. Let's move on to the Chiefs at the Bills. This has got to be the game of the week.
Yeah, I would think so.
Fade Mahomes this week?
Not if you've been starting him.
Mahomes or Russ?
Give me Russ this week against the Ravens pass defense.
Mahomes or Knicks?
Mahomes.
Give me Russ. Give me Knicks.
Okay.
Start Kelsey, obviously. But Hopkins, he's the only one that there's any pass catcher interest in outside of Kelsey. Yeah. What is Hopkins this week?
Flex.
Yeah. With receiver 2 upside, right? I mean,
yeah, the potential's there for it.
For sure. I mean, right now, let's keep it safe and
stay flex.
Go with flex. I'm with you there. No concerns that Juju steps on his toes or anything?
Not really. I just think Hopkins is the better receiver.
I think once their guy's in place, he's in place. And it's like, okay, Juju, if something happens, you're up, so be ready. Yeah, I think that's just kind of the way they roll. You can run all over the Bills. Pacheco is unlikely to be activated from IR ahead of this game, according to Andy Reid. So another smash start for Hunt?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I expect a 20 burger on volume plus a soft run defense. I love Kareem Hunt this week.
Spoiler alert, he's in my DFS again.
Oh, no. Is the price still way down through the floor?
Like 6,700, I think, off the top of my head.
It's pretty low for the volume he gets. You're starting Josh Allen.
Yep.
Also back to the Chiefs. I am cutting Xavier Worthy. I'm done with this.
Yeah.
You can toss them and back into the free agency pool as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I think you're waiting until Hollywood Brown's there and Raji Rice and they're healthy and then see what role he can get in that offense. But I don't know.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
You're starting Josh Allen, Bill's side.
Yep.
He may need to put this team on his shoulders, man. Everyone's hurt.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a tough game to do it on.
Amari Cooper has been limited. Start or sit if he plays. Yeah,
That's a real spot start if you're hurt and got lots of buys.
I'd like to avoid it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not.
Coleman's still out. He's not playing this week.
Yeah, so
Dalton Kincaid's ruled out. He's not playing this week.
You could do worse than Amari Cooper, but I'm trying to stay away from it if I can help it.
Okay. Yeah, again, no Coleman, no Kincaid. Interest in Knox?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Somebody has to step up here and catch passes.
I got a lot of interest in Knox.
How about Shakir?
Yeah, I think Shakir has a Shakir game. Maybe
13 fantasy points or so.
Yep.
Good flex. What's your thoughts on Knox?
I think Knox has a good game.
Just
he's going to be on the field more, opportunity.
Sure.
Other guys being out. Yeah, I think he gets.
This is an opportunity. You're chasing opportunity.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of targets that could potentially go Knox's way. And I mean, he's proven to be a competent tight end in the league before. You got Josh Allen throwing to him. Absolutely.
He shouldn't be on waivers this week.
No.
If he is, go get him.
Yep.
I'm concerned for James Cook this week.
Yeah.
You can't sit him, but so start and hope he gets you 14 with volume.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of where you're at, right? As far as PPR goes.
Hopefully he plunges a touchdown in. That'd be my guess.
Yeah, he's talented enough to get you there, but it's going to be tough sledding. It's like you said, it's going to take him getting into the end zone.
Right.
He's going to have to fall in the end zone. It would not surprise me if he walks away with 10 or less.
No.
This defense is so.
I think he'll get a little bit more in there, but I mean, it wouldn't surprise me either.
Well, that's my thing. Like, if he doesn't fall in the end zone, it wouldn't surprise me if he walks away with 8 fantasy points.
Yeah.
As far as PPR goes. So, yeah, tough sledding. You got to hope he gets in the end zone here.
Hope he gets in the end zone, and hopefully he gets involved in some dump-off game.
That's what I was going to ask. With these guys out, do we see more of these other running backs?
I don't know.
Catching passes out of the back,
Maybe.
like Ty Johnson, Ray Davis.
Yeah.
They
like both of those guys.
They're going to have to do something. They're going to have to mix things up here. Everyone's just banged up. Are you starting the Chiefs D or the Bills D? I kind of like to avoid them both. This game, who knows? I don't know what's going to happen in this game.
I would.
If you had to pick one, I think the Chiefs.
Let's start the Chiefs D.
Just because the Bills are so banged up.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's probably a fine start. Do you have anything else?
I think the Chiefs can jam it down their throat too.
I know.
That's the big problem.
I know. Like Kelsey and Hunt all game long.
Yeah.
Anything else for this?
Nope.
Okay. This is going to be a quick episode. We're into Sunday Night Football already. The Bengals at the Chargers. Do you have any concern for Bengals players on the road against the Chargers?
No.
This defense?
No.
They're 8th against quarterbacks, 3rd against running backs, 7th against receivers. I thought earlier.
If you're asking me if I have concerns with Joe Burrow, Chase Brown, or Jamar Chase, no.
Well, we'll get into that.
Okay.
I'm just asking, if you think that there's any chance for a little regression in this game, just because
compared to last week,
solid.
For sure.
Well, yeah, all year long compared to that week.
But I still think Chase has a good game, and I think Jamar Chase. I think Burrow. Maybe if you're going to temper one a little bit, it's Burrow, but I think Chase still gets his, and I think Chase Brown still is involved in the passing game and has a good game, and I think both them guys are still going to be good fantasy producers this week. If I'm tempering expectations for one, I'd say it's Burrow.
Okay. Yeah, Chase is an obvious start. I don't know. I just, earlier in the year, I kind of called the Chargers defense a little shammy, maybe. I'm off that train.
Yeah, they're good.
They're solid.
Yeah.
They're solid. But yeah, you start Chase, Jamar Chase. Higgins is back. You're starting him. Time to throw Gesicki back on the bench?
I would.
Back into free agency?
Back into free agency, probably. Maybe let it ride a week. But
I will say that is one hole in the Chargers defense. Every time they've faced a viable tight end, they have not done real well. And it's not like Denver where they haven't really seen, they've seen,
right.
It's pretty, those numbers are pretty legit. So tight ends do kind of have their way with, but it really seems like this is only a Higgins out thing for Gesicki. Higgins is in. I just can't trust
I
him.
think the Bengals are going to start playing some tough football too.
Yeah. They better.
Like
They got to start winning, man.
They do, but if there's one team that the last few years they get into that panic mode and they start being a real problem for everybody that they play, it's the Bengals.
Yeah. Any concern? This run defense is solid. Third against running backs. Any concern for Chase Brown?
No.
Me neither.
Just because it's a passing game. I think his involvement in the passing game, I feel.
Well, look at the Ravens. I mean, he 22 PPR points against the Ravens. I mean,
even with Chase Brown. Maybe not 22, but I still expect 15, 16 points,
Sure.
possibly more.
He's honestly, to me, and maybe you would disagree. First of all, he's RB2 rest of the season at minimum.
Until I'll go RB1 rest of season.
I'm not quite there, but I mean, we're not far. I'm not far off. I will say, I think he's matchup proof.
Yeah.
Like a matchup proof RB2, and I wouldn't be surprised if in a couple weeks I go, hey, remember when I said?
There's just so few running backs that are getting the opportunities that he is.
Yeah. Yep. Charger side, are you feeling okay starting Herbert this week, or would you rather go elsewhere?
Go elsewhere.
Herbert or Nix?
Nix.
Give me Nix. Herbert or Russ?
Russ.
Give me Russ. Herbert or Goff at home?
Goff at home.
Give me Goff at home. Yep. I don't want to chase this around.
No.
The Bengals are 21st against the receiver position. Ladd McConkey this week or Quentin Johnston?
McConkey.
I'll take McConkey. I'm just going to bank on the targets over the boom bust side of Johnston.
Yep.
How about Will Disley?
Sneaky. He's been getting some action.
He's clearly the preferred tight end in this offense.
Which I thought for sure.
Could be Hurst.
Yeah.
Just not working.
No.
6 targets last week. Cincinnati is 30th against the tight end position. And everybody has been having a party against these guys as far as tight ends go. So
get you some Will Disley.
Just like the Chargers here, like any capable tight end is done. That's like, average or whatever. Like they've all had above average fantasy days against the Bengals defense. So I'm in.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind some Will Disley this week, especially like in a tight end premium league. I'd roll the dice there. You got McBride on by this week, right?
Yeah. I'm going to go pick up Will Disley right now to play against Mitchell.
There you go. But no, seriously, Cade Otton and McBride are both on bye. Yep. I mean, I don't see this as a huge problem. Sam
Laporta's out.
Yeah. That's a good point. The Bengals are showing 8th against the running back position. I don't necessarily buy that when I look at the numbers. Gus Edwards had 10 touches last week, but Dobbins totaled 18. I'm still okay with Dobbins based on volume and just talent.
Yeah.
Gus Edwards is not catching any passes. I'm not going to shy away from him. Dobbins' route participation is high, and that I would imagine that continues. So yeah, I'll start J.K. Dobbins this week. This Gus Edwards thing doesn't bother me that much, and his ankle's already bothering him. So yeah, give me some. Does it bother you at all?
No,
not your ankle, Gus Edwards.
You're right. Gus Edwards' ankle doesn't bother me. No,
your ankle's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, I don't know if you can get through this with a hurt ankle side.
All right.
Starting the Chargers D most of the season.
Yep.
You're going to start the Chargers D?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No worries there?
Oh, there's worries, but I mean, I don't know if they're worth dropping this close to the playoffs. So if I don't have that roster spot to give up, then I'm going to start the Chargers D.
Just going to deal with it.
Yep.
I think I will too. I agree. All right. Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Let's move on to Monday Night Football. The Texans at the Cowboys. Nico is coming back. Finally.
I can't wait.
Oh, me neither.
I hope he's good.
I have him in so many leagues.
I hope his hammy is the best his hammy's ever been.
Yeah.
Please.
I'm starting him without hesitation.
Oh, you got to.
That said,
I
hate hamstring injuries so much. They nag and they
linger.
Hate lingerers.
Yeah. Lingerers.
Linger, man.
Pineapple Express for those sitting there going, huh? But, I feel like Houston did right by Nico. They did the right thing here. They didn't rush him back. Even when he was able to come back, they're like, maybe take one more off.
Right.
I think we can hang our hats on that. They didn't rush the guy back. That's a good sign.
Right.
I am starting Tank Dell. You?
No.
I will. I think this helps more than it hurts. think he's still a flex. Cowboys D. Yuck.
Right.
Yeah, I'll start Tank though. I'll call him a flex. You'd like to fade him?
Yeah.
Okay. Joe Mixon, yes, obviously. Yep. I expect another monster game. Cowboys are currently 28th against the running back position. Any interest in anyone like C.J. Stroud, Dalton Schultz?
No.
4 teams on bye, but Baker,
maybe Stroud.
No Baker, no Kyler.
Yeah.
Maybe Stroud if you had to. I'd prefer not to.
Right.
And Dalton Schultz, I just don't.
If you're in a redraft, go pick up Anthony Richardson over CJ Stroud. That'd be my viewpoint on that.
I did it in your redraft.
Yeah.
I got him and Jameis Winston, and I'm like,
it's all right.
Which one do I start? I just can't decide. Like, which one is going to give me the highest upside this week? I don't know. Yeah, I think I would rather look elsewhere, especially for Schultz. You as well?
Yeah.
All right. Let's make this part very simple.
Okay.
You have to start CD, and lucky for those that have to, the Texans are terrible against the pass. So there's that. I think CD should be able to give serviceable numbers at minimum.
Yeah, I would think so.
Just, talent alone.
Yeah, and they're going to force feed it to him. It seems like they'll move him around to get him the ball.
Yeah. So, you start him. I'm fading Dowdle, though. This Houston run D.
To answer your question, though, I want to go back to the Anthony Richards, Jameis Winston thing. Winston plays New Orleans.
I know.
And I get it as Anthony Richards'
literally
first
why
game
I
back
picked him
there,
up.
but it's like, I don't know.
He's in my lineup right now.
Yeah, that's
Winston
a tough one.
is. Well, I picked up Richardson a few days ago. You said on the show that we didn't get to put out a couple days ago.
Yeah.
You had mentioned it's probably not a bad ad for those real or maybe trying to find something.
Right.
I'm like, you know what, Ty's right.
Trade your quarterback. If you're in that situation, like, dude, if I'm 3-7 right now, I'll trade a quarterback if I can get something out of him and pick up Anthony Richardson off the waivers. And
I did.
Yeah.
I had Baker on bye. I traded Baker. We don't need to go over the trade, but that left me with no quarterback. Ran and picked up Richardson, threw him on there, and I'm like, yeah, I'll go with Richardson. And then I'm like, oh, wait a sec, Jameis is available. I had a scrub on mine. I was like, I'm going to pick him up too.
Yep.
And then I benched Richardson immediately, and I put Jameis in for the revenge game aspect. Yeah, eating dubs. So, yeah, I don't know. That's a tough call between those two, though, right?
Yeah.
Very tough call. And okay, so fading Dowdle, I just don't want.
Yeah.
This Houston run D is way too solid for this team to handle.
Really, probably only want to start CD.
Yeah, I'd like to fade Ferguson. I understand if you can't.
Right, but I don't think it's going to be a good game.
Ferguson or Knox?
Knox.
Ferguson or Disley? I got to go Ferguson with that one, I think.
Yeah. But he's in that. He's dropped to that range, though, in my opinion. I'll go Disley.
All right, I'll take Ferguson.
Poor crew. I'm going Ferguson for that. I can't do it.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, you got to hope that the Cowboys can figure this out, even just a little bit.
Right.
So that a couple of these guys can give you some serviceable numbers by the end of the fourth quarter. If you can find someone who's willing to take a risk and give you something solid for CD, just for name value, essentially, if they're still holding on to that, personally, I'm doing it.
Right.
I'm sending CD down the road. I just don't. The volume should get better. I almost wonder though, was last week, because watching that Commanders and Eagles game, it's like, oh, okay, the Eagles their defense is genuinely significantly better in all facets of the game since the bye. Could it have maybe been a little more something to do with that than it was CD and Cooper Rush? And not that Cooper Rush is good by any stretch. He's fine. He's kind of serviceable. Do you think it could have been a lot of that as well?
Yeah.
And not so much on just the Cowboys players?
I think it's both.
Sure, a mix of both. Yep. So you can throw on the Texans, man. Maybe this is... all we can do is wait and see. We got to see them against something a little softer.
Cooper Rush isn't the worst backup in the world. I will say that.
No.
He's not.
And I think I would like to... I still stick with everything that we said. But we could come back next week talking a little bit of a different tune. Okay, as long as the matchup is somewhat fine,
Ferguson could be.
Ferguson and CD might be all right for the rest of the year. Okay. Do you have anything else for this one?
Nope.
Starting the Texans D?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. All right, that's it for the games. No more games, Ty. We're already done. Let's get into some segments here. Let's start with Tyler's Week 11 DFS.
Pretty. Starting to get some familiar names coming up in these things. But for quarterback this week, and we brought him up a couple of times during the show, Russell Wilson at 5,900, going against the 31st ranked Baltimore passing defense for that price. I'll try to get that deal on him. Spent some money for Devon A-Chain at 7,200 going against Las Vegas. And then, guy's been on my DFS for like 6 or 7 weeks in a row, but Kareem Hunt for 6,700, 31st ranked Buffalo defense. I think he's going to run right through them. Matched up with Russ, went for George Pickens, who in Ravens are 32nd against wide receivers. Like a big Pickens game here. Juwan Jennings for 5,300. It was literally like the first person on my board. As soon as I was just going through the players, like, oh, Juwan Jennings, 5,300? Yeah, I'll take that. Another $5,300 wide receiver, Cedric Tillman. Jameis coming back, revenge game. Maybe Tillman get a bomb going there.
Lattimore's gone.
At tight end, this is like a big shocker. Dawson Knox for 3,500. I did take, this is maybe the one that I was like a little iffy on, but like I had some money left over from my flex spot. I went Ramondre Stevenson against the Rams. Now, I'm not crazy about it.
The Rams actually lately have been a little bit better against the run.
They've been stingy. Nick Chubb was in that conversation.
Is this like a volume thing?
Yeah,
He
I
does
guess.
get volume.
Yeah. Hoping he plunges one in, maybe. I don't know. But Ramondre Stevenson there, and then rounding it out with the Dolphins defense for 3,000 going against Las Vegas.
You know, I don't love the Ramondre thing, but I got to say, I think this might be my favorite DFS lineup you've done yet.
Yeah.
It just, to hear it on paper, man, it sounds fantastic.
Right.
This sounds like a really good one. Good job, man.
You could put like some of the players in that bracket, like with like Nick Chubb. Trying to think off the top of my head. Yeah, that's kind of like the bracket you were like when you had left with the flex spot. Ramondre Stevenson was the last one I put in. I kept looking at it like, ended up going with him for volume against the Rams. Pull this up a second here. We'll go through this.
Can you afford Jamison Williams instead?
Yeah, probably.
Just curious.
So what we have right here is Ramondre Stevenson, Brian Thomas Jr.
Nope.
Nick Chubb, DJ Moore, Michael Pittman, Jalen Waddle, Cortland Sutton. Should we go Cortland Sutton?
Boy, yeah, man. I like that. Now, see, I love this lineup, man.
All right, so we're going Cortland Sutton. We have 200 left. Do we want to? So I just looked at the defense quick. We have the Dolphins defense right now. Chiefs and Rams are up there. Rams.
No, I think you stick with it.
Stick with the Dolphins one?
I like it. Yep. Are they in Miami?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
All right.
The Raiders are not scary at
Last
all.
question then, just because I'm looking at that 200 that we got left. Do you then pay up an extra 100 for Jahmyr Gibbs over Devon A-Chain?
Yeah.
Okay. So, new lineup.
Yep, let's hear it.
Russell Wilson at quarterback for 5,900. Jahmyr Gibbs against Jacksonville, the 30th ranked rushing offense for 7,300. Kareem Hunt against Buffalo for 6,700. George Pickens against Baltimore for 7,000. Juwan Jennings against Seattle for 5,300. Cedric Tillman against New Orleans for 5,300. Dawson Knox against Kansas City for 3,500. Cortland Sutton against Atlanta for 5,900. And then the Dolphins D for 3,000.
Set that lineup, folks.
Set it.
I like that a lot. That's a good lineup, Ty.
Yeah.
Nice job, dude.
I like that working through that Devon, I think that made that better for sure.
I think it did.
Yep.
I think it did too. All right, let's move on to some sneaky starts of the week, shall we?
Yeah.
We each have one because it's. I don't want to give too much bad information, you know. So I picked the guy that I am starting this week in a spot. I'm going to go with Mike Williams against the Ravens.
I like it. I hope Mike Williams is more acclimated in the offense this week.
They need him to be. Like, as far as rest of season, just what they're trying, they need him to be. And I'll tell you what, man, One thing Russ ain't afraid to do is whip that thing downfield.
Throw it up there.
Yeah, like him and Jameis, they'll just fire that thing down. Yeah, no concerns at all. So that plays huge into big favor for Mike Williams.
Yep.
He's the 2 here.
Yeah, he's definitely.
So why not?
It's all about getting him acclimated. As soon as he's acclimated, there's nobody to compete with the 2 spot for him, in my opinion.
The Ravens are no longer towards the bottom of the league. They are at the bottom of the league against the pass. So
31 against quarterbacks, or 29th against quarterbacks, and 32nd against wide receivers.
Give me some Mike Williams. It would not surprise me at all if he gets 4 targets, catches 2 of them, and one of them's a 45-yard touchdown. Like I wouldn't
2 catches, 61 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all.
Right.
Not at all. So yeah, give me some sneaky start with Mike Williams this week.
Yeah.
What do you got?
My sneaky start of the week. Man, I just had a mental lapse there.
You want me to tell you what it is?
Yeah, what was it?
I got it. It's Dawson Knox.
Dawson Knox. Yeah, that's my sneaky start of the week. So Dawson Knox filling in for Dalton Kincaid. Man, get it together, Tyler.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I think he's available in a lot of leagues. You could pick him up off of waivers, and I think it's going to be a good week for him. Josh Allen's definitely used to throwing him the ball. Trust him.
Everyone's banged up.
Mari Cooper's banged up. Keon Coleman's banged up. Like,
it's absolutely a volume-based play.
Absolutely.
Again, Otten's on bye.
Yeah.
McBride's on bye. You could do a lot worse than this.
Laporta's hurt.
Yeah.
Ferguson doesn't have his quarterback.
Yeah. Come on. This guy, he should not be on waivers right now.
No.
Somebody should need him. and you know what? Even if you don't need him and you got trash on your bench,
just grab him.
Grab him. Block somebody from. That's a big thing, too. I love free agent blocking. I do it all the time.
I know you do.
That's the dirty side of me here. All right, let's move on to Nick's Week 11 Boom List.
All right.
Read by Tyler.
So, I don't have the analysis that Nick does on these, but these are his boom list. He has, oh boy, we're going to skip that one.
No, we can go with it. So this usually would have been read on the last show.
Yeah, it would have been read on Wednesday.
Yeah. Okay. So because of technical difficulties, you didn't hear it. So it's all right. Go ahead, Ty. Tell him who's first on the list here for his QB1. He had
Jalen Hurts versus the Commanders, but some other factors might have played into that not maybe working out. I think Jalen Hurts still got 17, so it wasn't terrible. But I think his big argument was that the Commanders were 5th versus the pass, and with the upside of Jalen Hurts' legs, why not?
Sure.
You know? Nick has for QB2, Jameis Winston at the Saints. Revenge game. Saints are 29th versus the pass. You said it a couple minutes ago. No Lattimore there. They're pretty much going for picks at this point.
Yep.
RB1, love it. Joe Mixon against the Cowboys. 31st versus the run. Mixon's going to get a huge workload. RB2, I really like, and I hope he's right on this because we've been talking about this. We need to see more of this. Breece Hall versus the Colts. This needs to happen. Get Breece Hall going and keep it going.
Yeah.
They're 30th versus the run. Should be a big week for Breece Hall. Wide receiver 1, Amon-Ra St. Brown versus the Jaguars. We're 30th versus the pass. Love it. Nick. The boom list is right there with the DFS. I love it.
Yeah.
Wide receiver 2, Cedric Tillman at the Saints. 29th versus the pass. Nick's all over it. We talked about this earlier. Nick is all in on Kyle Pitts at the Broncos, who are 10th versus passing tight ends, and Dolphins defense versus the Raiders. Love it.
There we go.
Insane. And I didn't even really look at this before I did.
No,
that's awesome.
I just copy pasted and emailed to you.
So.
Yep. All right, that is Nick's Week 11 Boom List, read by Tyler.
There you go.
All right, let's move on to our, and I hope everybody's favorite segment. I know it's my favorite. Ty's probably like, it's stressful.
No, I like it.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Would you rather? Here we go. Quarterback, would you rather Russell Wilson versus the Ravens or Bo Nix versus the Falcons?
Russell Wilson versus the Ravens.
I agree. Would you rather Anthony Richardson at the Jets or Caleb Williams versus the Packers?
Anthony Richardson.
Give me Anthony Richardson. Running back, would you rather Travis Etienne at the Lions or Rico Dowdle versus the Texans? Yep. It's a tough one.
Travis Etienne.
Give me Rico.
Yeah.
I just refuse to take this guy. I'm sorry. I just can't do it. Would you rather Audric Estime versus the Falcons or Raheem Mostert versus the Raiders?
Yeah, Audric Estime.
Yeah. Give me Estime. Would you rather Gus Edwards versus the Bengals or Roshan Johnson versus the Packers?
Gus Edwards.
Give me Gus, hoping he falls in for one.
Yeah.
That's
Same thing with Roshan, though. You're hoping for a plunge. I mean,
yeah, that's it. Wide receiver. Would you rather Xavier Worthy at the Bills or Rome Odunes versus the Packers?
Xavier Worthy versus the Bills.
Give me Odunes.
I go with trick play against the Bills somewhere happening. Worthy.
Would you rather Rashad Bateman at the Steelers or Demario Douglas versus the Rams?
Demario Douglas versus the Rams.
I'll take Bateman. No, I won't. I'll take Douglas. That pass defense is terrible. Give me Douglas. I'm with you. Would you rather my sneaky play Mike Williams versus the Ravens or Mac Hollins versus the Chiefs?
Mike Williams versus the Ravens.
Agreed. Here we go again. Tight end. Would you rather Dawson Knox versus the Chiefs or Will Disley versus the Bengals?
Dawson Knox.
You don't have a choice. You have to take Dawson Knox, and I agree with you. Last one. Jonnu Smith versus the Raiders or Taysom Hill versus the Browns?
Jonnu Smith.
I'll take Taysom Hill.
Yeah, I figured you would because you kind of.
Yeah, so
you made some good points about Taysom there the other night.
I know.
We didn't get to air that one, but
I wish I had it in front of me. It's essentially, at this point with what's going on with the Saints, you've got Kamara, and you've got Kamara, and you have Kamara. There's no receivers here. I think, to me, man. First of all,
how dare you disrespect Marco Valdez-Scantling?
That's what I was just going to say. There is no way I'm chasing that. There's just no way.
No, absolutely not.
This to me, for as hard as it is to trust Taysom Hill on a weekly basis, because that's very hard. Like I fade that. I want nothing to do with it. This is the least scariest it's ever been to start Taysom Hill, in my opinion. So. Like, I think he had an 85-yard touchdown called back last week. Like, man, give me some Taysom Hill.
Dude's an athlete.
Yeah, I think he's a good. I probably should.
I'll stick with Jonnu, but you make a good point.
He doesn't count as a sneaky start, I don't think.
No, but he could though. I mean, I don't know. I think
Taysom Hill rest of season is as easy to start as he's ever been.
Fair enough.
Okay, it's a lack of weapons.
Yeah,
I guess like severe. Well, again, it's Alvin Kamara.
You think they would want to try to find ways to get Taysom Hill involved?
You would think so. I mean, listen. At the end of the day, he's running the ball from the quarterback position. He's throwing the ball from the quarterback position. He's running as a running back, and he's running.
He catches
routes.
passes at the tight end.
What do you want?
Right.
I mean, and again,
he tackles people on a special team.
There's nobody in his way. Like they have to do something. They're going to have to get creative. So that's it. That's the show.
Yeah, man.
That's all we got. You have any final thoughts?
No, I should have. I'm not even going to try to.
Mitchell?
If you're listening, I'm assuming that you've made it this far, then please be subscribed and like our channel. And then also on top of that, I'm sure you like sports movies. Let us know your top 3.
Yeah. Also, thank you.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate you. My final thoughts are tighten up your rosters. We're only a few weeks out.
Lock it up. No, you lock it up.
No, you lock it up.
I'm locking it down.
Start tightening up your rosters. And that's it for today's show. Again, as always, thank you all so much for tuning in and giving us your support. Remember, our PPR Superflex Dynasty rankings are now available in the description. Just click the corresponding link, and they are available as well on our Twitter. Also, check the description for instructions on how to get your trades graded. Join us next time for our Week 11 reaction. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe to our Spotify, Twitter, and YouTube. It's the only way we survive, and it's because of you. Go get a dub this weekend. Tighten up your rosters. See you next time, everybody.
I love you.